Hello, West Campus families. Thank you for viewing our video regarding the returning to campus for the 2021 academic school year. Today, we will give you the valuable health and safety update information that we have available. We will inform you about the West Campus schedule that will begin April 22nd, 2021. We will address some common questions that we receive from our family engagement teams, and we will provide next steps.
We were fortunate this academic school year with implementing the collaborative committees that consisted of parents, students, administration, and teachers. From our committees, we had the SCL committee, and our parents were really committed to bringing events to help the social emotional learning of our students and staff. The committee created a training module for staff early this year and brought the video opportunity for ANCS to discuss ADHD. And next week, students will experience Ghosted, which is an interactive lesson for, with Kaiser Permanente. And then we have the SCL corner that's in the Warrior News as a result of the SCL committee. And so the family engagement and the West Campus Culture Committee hosted the virtual paint night, which was a huge success. We had student engagement data that really informed our practice instructionally, and the family engagement and West Campus Culture Committees created the training module for staff on how to better engage students with apps. And so we are just really grateful that parents especially, volunteered and gave much time and effort so we can have a really good distance learning program this year.
Based on the Sacramento County risk levels tier system, we are able to open secondary schools. As of March 16th, we had moved into the red tier, somewhat based on vaccine distribution and based on case positivity rates. And this allowed us as a county to open up schools to students. So we are looking forward to doing that, and the schedule will come in one of the following slides. So as I said, we are clear to reopen as we are in the red tier. We will post the health and safety plan to the internet. The district website will have the health and safety plan for the entire school district. Our specific plan should be included in that. The district's plan is in the return to health materials. The main safety protocols will be physical distancing and face coverings, hand hygiene, and then screening. So the quick schedule, the valuable part for us will be that April 22nd will be the return to campus for students who have elected to return to campus through the survey completed during March. If students did not complete the survey, the default setting was for them to be placed into in-person learning. If your student was default set into in-person learning and you would like your student to remain on distance learning, please contact me either via phone call to the front office or via email.
So as Principal McMeekin highlighted, screenings are going to be critical with ensuring the safety of all of our students and staff. And so temperature checks will happen upon entry, and we will check for symptoms. We'll ask your student, are you feeling sick, or do you have any symptoms upon check-in? And this is also important to do at home, so that you can, keep your student at home if there are any symptoms, if there is a high temperature, if your student's not feeling well. And so here's a really quick video highlighting the screening process. so thank you all for watching that really quick video. One thing that was awesome about the video that we have at West Campus that wasn't really seen is that we have a huge, boost in technology to include multiple screening of students, multiple students at a time. And so Principal Meekin and I got to see this screening in action, and we're excited to have it at West Campus. And so here are some additional resources for you all. These resources will be on the West Campus website. But if you want to learn more about the health and safety screening process, please view returntogether.scusd.edu and the other links here. And Sacramento City Unified School District is really excited to announce this mobile app for health screening, for at-home screening, to make sure that your student is in a really safe position prior to driving to West Campus. And so you can download this app, you can do the screening on your app, and it would help us make sure that our students are safe.
As part of our as part of our health and safety, specific to West Campus, all students will enter through the main entrance, just to the left of the front office at the front of the school. This is the parking lot entrance that is closest to Fruit Ridge Avenue. You will come in through those doors. Students will proceed directly into room 3, which is the classroom directly opposite the main office where the temperature scan will take place. So all students will come in through this entrance upon entry to the school, and we'll go through our temperature scan system setup, and we'll go through the health screening process. If you have downloaded the app and pre-screened, you still go through the temperature screen, but you speed through the question and answer process. Our classrooms are arranged to meet the minimum 6 feet required that was originally provided by the CDC. Recently, the CDC has updated their guidelines to indicate that a 3 feet spacing in classrooms is acceptable. And the California Department of Health has also adopted that, so that there are some districts that are using that. Sac City is maintaining the 6 feet required distance at this time. As we all know, things can change, and they can change rapidly, but at this time we are planning and anticipating a 6 foot spacing between desks. All the classrooms are arranged to ensure that all the students who have requested to return to the site will have space to work during their time in the classroom. There will be signs posted throughout the classroom, signs on every school door. There will be directional signage for hallway movement. We will be well prepared when your student arrives on April 22nd. It's very critical that everyone wears a face covering, and it's very critical that they wear it appropriately. So face coverings have ear straps. The ear straps go over your ear, over each ear, and then the face covering covers over your nose and your mouth. So we do not wear them with our nose. We wear them covering the entire part of your mouth. It's very critical that students will be wearing face coverings the entire time they are on campus. And that means once they are in line to enter the school, which they can do starting at 8:45 a.m., they will be expected to have a face covering on, and they will have that on for the entire time until they are picked up or they enter their vehicle to leave school at the end of the school instructional day. The instructional day ends at 12:20. They will be expected for all students to be off campus by 12:35, 15 minutes after the end of class. If there are any students who are refusing to wear their mask, they will be sent to the front office, and the front office will be contacting parents to send the students home. Wearing a mask is a requirement to returning to the site at this time. There will be designated mask breaks. There will be approved mask breaks. If students need a break, they can communicate to their teacher that they need a break. Breaks will be taken outside with appropriate distancing, at least 6 feet, potentially larger distance than that, just to ensure the safety of all the students who are on campus. But again, this is something that we cannot negotiate. It is required of all students. And so students can take their face mask off briefly to drink water. They will be allowed to have a water bottle on campus. That there will be water stations where they can refill their water, but it'll be required that their face coverings are on.
There's a quick video to highlight expectations regarding face coverings.
Additionally, there will be there are hand sanitizer stations that are set up inside each classroom. Students will be expected to use hand sanitizer when they enter and exit classrooms. There will be a reminder to students that they should do that. Sanitizing can take place very easily as they enter rooms and exit rooms, as there will be sanitizer stations mounted to the walls, as well as teachers will all be provided with hand sanitizer. One thing I should have mentioned previously, if a student arrives to school without a mask, we will have masks available to provide to them. So it is not required that students have their own masks when they arrive, but it is required that they wear their masks during the entire school day. As I said, we have prepared each hallway. So most hallways will be one-way directional. There are the main hallway at the front, towards the front of the school, and then the back hallway to the back of the school will both be two-way directional, but it'll be separated in space so that students will be expected to move from one classroom to the next during passing period, and from the entry directly to their classroom, and then at the end of the day, from their classroom directly out of the building. The front office has had plexiglass barriers installed. So when parents need to come to the front office, we will be able to meet them, maintaining safety of all staff and all parents. And when students need to come to the front office, again, the safety will be maintained through these plexiglass barriers.
I just want to shout out Roy Brooks, our plant manager, for making sure that our students and our staff are safe. Roy has been on top of the assessment by the third party representative, and we're very fortunate that he got the signs and the plexiglass and made sure everything is working safely. And also our front office staff and Principal McMeekin for really taking this seriously and making sure our students and staff are safe. So I just want to highlight that. Sorry to cut you off, Principal McMeekin.
It's okay.
Vaccinations. So one thing we're super excited about as Sac City is that all of our staff have had an opportunity to be vaccinated if they choose. Principal McMeekin and I were really excited to take part in the vaccination clinic at Cerna. And we're just really grateful for our district administration for having these opportunities for all staff, but also community members. And so more information will be forthcoming for community members to also receive vaccinations. So in addition to hosting vaccination clinics on site, our district has invited all staff to receive the vaccine. There is not currently a vaccine approved for children under the age of 16. We recommend everyone who is eligible to get a vaccine. Again, more information will be forthcoming regarding specific vaccinations at Cerna and locally. But the vaccination is safe and healthy and one of our best lines of defense. So if that is the choice your family wants to make, we stand by you with getting vaccinated. So we're transitioning now to the West Campus High School schedule and instructional model.
I gotta throw one more thought in there about vaccinations. Recently, it has been reported that there is a vaccine that is shown to be effective for 12 to 16-year-olds. When it is approved, we would be excited for all of our students to be able to receive it. We believe that the vaccine is the primary frontline defense that we're going to have against COVID-19, both currently and then ongoing. And I could not agree more with Dr. Verscher in recommending that families receive the vaccine. When you are eligible, take advantage of that opportunity. I have been fully vaccinated. My wife has been fully vaccinated. Dr. Verscher has been fully vaccinated, and we can attest to the benefits and the value and the safety of the vaccination. Now we can get back to the schedule. Okay, so as you return to the site, students do have the option to remain on distance learning for the remainder of the school year. In this scenario, students would continue to receive instruction from their current teachers. We will be following a concurrent learning model, when this means that the students who have selected to be in in-person cohorts, and the in-person cohorts will take place 2 days a week, they will be learning the same time as the students who are on distance. So we will have one cohort who is in class, and then we will have one cohort who is not in class, and then we will have the distance learning students who are 100% distance learning. All of these 3 groups will receive instruction at the same time following the new schedule. So students will, if they are on a distance learning day or if they are a permanent distance learning student, will log on to the Zoom similar to the way they have been doing since the beginning of the school year to receive their instruction. Teachers will be receiving training to prepare for a concurrent learning model. However, we are going to provide our teachers lots of grace as they continue to learn and develop their craft and increase their skills and instructional practices as it relates to this new instructional model. So there will be advanced technology or new technology for teachers to take advantage of while they are teaching in their classroom to the students in front of them, as well as the students who are joining via Zoom. The small cohorts that exist means that we will have no more than 17 students in a classroom. Students will attend on alternate school days. They'll be grouped into 2 groups, as I said, and all students will be on distance learning every Monday for the remainder of the school year under the current schedule.
So here is an awesome video that will highlight how the in-person and concurrent learning model will take place beginning April 22nd.
So it's really important that we all work together and follow all of the health and safety protocols that we have in place. One of the most important ones that we can do is to wear our face masks correctly every time we're around other people. One of the first things that students and families will see when they come to campus is the health screening to make sure that they're not having any signs and symptoms of illness or that anyone in their home is sick. And so they'll come through, make sure that they're healthy, and then we'll also be checking their temperatures. Another measure we're going to also use is healthy hygiene practices, and that includes washing our hands or using hand sanitizer, particularly anytime we enter or exit a new space or anytime we eat or drink. It will be different when we come back to school together. We'll have to keep our physical distance from all of our friends and those we're really excited to see. We'll have to have our face coverings on, but these kinds of practices really allow us to be safe and come back to school together.
Parents will be given the opportunity to choose between a 5-day distance learning option exclusively at home, or they can choose to participate in campus learning 2 days a week. What I like about in-person learning and concurrent model is that students are able to engage with each other, collaborate with each other, obviously maintaining social distance guidelines, but the teacher is able to facilitate that. We're all here to ensure that the students that are here with us receive the best experience, the most engaging experience to enhance their learning. So we have been looking at different types of technology, and we are very excited because we think we have found a system that allows for kids at home to be able to engage in an experience with their classmates in the classroom as close to what it would feel like if they were here with us. And so this system would allow for the kids in the classroom to hear their classmates at home and vice versa. The teacher can engage with both of them simultaneously in some cases or as needed. So we're very excited at the opportunity to create a learning experience for kids, whether they're here or at home. We recognize that concurrent learning as it is now is not going to be an exact replication of what students normally experience. However, we are also proud to share the fact that we want kids to engage with technology and that we know that that's valuable to their learning experience. And so this is in some ways an introduction to show teachers and students and families alike how we can use technology to enhance everyone's experience.
Everyone at home, can you hear us okay?
Yes, we can.
Wonderful. Good morning, boys and girls.
Good morning.
Good morning, those of you at home. How is everyone today? Good morning.
In addition to our health and safety protocols, we've made a lot of updates to our school sites to keep ourselves safe. So we've had third-party experts come through all of our facilities and our classrooms to ensure all of our health and safety protocols are in place correctly. So when it comes to ventilation, one of the most important things is to have a continuous flow of air. So one of the things that we do to have that continuous flow of air is to open our doors and windows. We've also reprogrammed our systems so that they're constantly pulling air from the outside and filtering it through. We've also upgraded our MERV filters to the highest rating possible, and we are adding HEPA filtration. When you come onto our campus, you'll see a lot of different signage. We have lots of signage around remembering to wear our face masks, remembering to keep our physical distancing, whether it's on the ground or maybe on the wall. We also have signage around hand hygiene and washing our hands, and you'll see this throughout our campuses and classrooms. The tried and true measures that we know have been working and we've been practicing for a really long time are really that layered approach. We know that doing that symptom screening and health screening really helps keep COVID away. If we're sick or we're just not sure, this is a really good time to stay home. Wearing our face coverings is one of the best measures that we can do, and research has really shown this. Also, practicing physical distancing, keeping our hand hygiene, keeping to our cohorts, all of these layered measures and approaches really help us be safe and stay together.
Back in October, we were able to open up learning hubs for kids to come back to school in small groups. And from the first day of school where they came to our campus, we were able to see the twinkle in their eye, the joy in their faces just for being on campus. And we know that we saw some increases in engagement automatically from them being here. And we know that the impact on their social development has been huge. And so we are excited to offer that opportunity to all of our students to be able to be here and benefit from those social interactions that are crucial to their social development. We are extremely ready and excited to have our kids back in school site, returning together in the space. Our teachers are ready, our staff is ready, Sac City's ready.
So for the concurrent learning model, students, as I said, are in the classroom with their classmates who are learning from home, and the distance learning model. Students will Zoom in when they are on distance days, or if they are full-time distance. There will be, as you saw, the technology in place to allow students to interact together while in home or in the classroom. And the classroom activities can include all the variety of classroom activities you've seen, both through distance learning and through in-person traditional classroom instruction.
So one thing that's awesome about the concurrent learning teacher technology is the ability to differentiate instruction, as we just saw in the video. So teachers will be provided the materials and professional development, namely by Principal McMeekin and I, to make classes interactive and rewarding for students, both in person and in distance learning. In our Monday collaboration meetings, we have had a lot of discussions as a staff with how to make this transition possible. I know Principal McMeekin and I have introduced Jamboard, have introduced workstations, and now are introducing UDL as a district to make the concurrent learning model valuable for both students and teachers. And so the technology, we got to see a glimpse in the video, but there's a 3-in-1 device with a microphone, speakers, and camera, 2 computer devices, one for work, one for video, a display monitor for students, and additional charges and electrical outlets, etc., if needed. And so as a district, we are proud that technology is going to be incorporated in the classroom. And we're excited for this new opportunity to be pioneers. Transitioning now to the schedule. Take it away, Principal McMeekin.
So as you can see, first period for all live classrooms will take place at 9 a.m. This schedule will begin at on April 22nd, Thursday, April 22nd, 2021 will be the first day of this new schedule. So that'll be a Thursday morning, and students will engage in their first period classes at 9 a.m. Any zero period students will be reporting, who are reporting to campus, will be there for their 8:20 zero period. There is a 10-minute passing period between each class, followed by a third period, which will start at 10:10 a.m. to 11:10 a.m. And then fifth period, which will go 11:20 to 12:20 p.m. 12:20 p.m. students will end their in-person day. So all students on campus will then exit their classroom and exit the building. There will be grab and go locations for the meal service, where they will be able to grab their meals, which will provide them for the meal for the day, their lunch, as well as their breakfast for the next day. And they will take that as they exit the building, and they will be picked up by 12:35. And then, as you can see, there will be asynchronous and or small group time that'll take place in the afternoons for students to continue their instruction and their interaction with their teachers. And then similar on the next Friday, it's just the same kind of flip-flop we've been doing throughout the school year, where 135 is on one day, 246 on the following day.
You know, one thing to highlight, Principal McMeekin, is the collaborative process with this schedule. I know that was a topic brought up by the Family Engagement Committee. Do you want to like highlight that this was a collaborative process?
So given that we have an agreement for this return to person, return to learning in place, there was a negotiation, a collaboration process with the teachers, through administration and teachers developed this schedule collaboratively and agreed on it in unison. So this is the schedule that we will be following, and we can all feel confident that this is what will take place on Thursday, April 22nd.
So I want to thank our nutrition services department, Tani and Miss Cindy, for really being great with making sure our community is fed throughout this entire process. So I just want to thank them for their service. But for nutrition services, as Principal McMeekin highlight, there will be a grab and go opportunity for students. So free meals will continue to be provided each day, whether students participate in on-campus learning or distance learning. Water, as Principal McMeekin highlighted, there will be disposable drinking cups provided for elementary classrooms. So that's not really relevant for our high schoolers, but we do have water stations where students can drink water safely with physical distancing. And we do, ask students to have their masks on immediately after drinking their water. So secondary students, like students at West Campus, will be encouraged to bring refillable bottled water from home, and bottled water will be made available as needed. So here are some frequently asked questions from our family engagement team. So what will the school do to support my students socially and emotionally? And so our SEL committee has, again, led the way with highlighting programs and bringing programs to West Campus to engage our students and for our staff to better understand ADHD, to better understand, how this pandemic has impacted our students socially and emotionally. So we want to continue maintaining and building relationships with our community and our students in the classroom. We will explicitly continue teaching our SEL mini lessons. So we've done an SEL mini lesson each month that targets, again, building relationships with students, having students have courageous conversations, and to do temperature checks with students, and then making referrals to counseling services. These steps that we have taken as a school, again, by the SEL committee that consisted of parents, admin, teachers, and students, we really have a strong program at West Campus to support with identifying students who are struggling socially, emotionally, and then having a bridge to services so students get the support that they need. We also want to maintain safety by teaching and reinforcing predictable routines. And so this is why, again, the partnership at home is important. We want to make sure that our students do have a routine, even if they're distance learning. Like, as parents, encouraging your student to wake up, to shower, to go for a walk, to eat breakfast, to have a pen and paper on hand as if they're ready to learn, even in the distance learning capacity. And as always, you can contact Principal McMeekin and I, or your student's counselor, for direct services, for counseling services. Principal McMeekin, what can parents or guardians do to support your student socially and emotionally?
I'm a firm believer that staying connected is one of the most important things to do in the school environment. And while I know that many students have joined clubs, there are many students who have not joined clubs. And so I continue to enjoy, or to recommend, joining a club, participating in a sport. The connection that you have to the school that goes beyond your classes is going to be the most important connection that you have to fostering the environment that you want to be successful in. Helping students maintain, regular self-care routines can't be understated. Waking up and showering, waking up, brushing teeth every day, encouraging this practice, even if your camera's not going to be on, you're not going to leave the house, you're not going to go anywhere, maintaining these routines, these rituals that get you going into the day can be critical, and encouraging your student to continue to do these things can be critical to their success, not just in school, but in outside activities as well. It's important to connect regularly with your students. Check in with them. And I'm going to be totally transparent in the fact that I have a student who has been on distance learning for the duration of this time as well. And I know that those conversations that you'd have with your student on distance learning do not always end in a positive, happy moment for the family. But they are necessary to continue to engage in, to ensure a connected family and ensure that it's there. When oftentimes when students are upset and maybe doing antisocial behaviors to their parents, students do know that their parents love them and are interested in their progress, and those connections need to take place to continue to show that love and connection. We have additional resources, so this website will be available through our SEL webpage on our website, should you need additional resources. So again, back to health and safety. How are we going to be prepared? So it is recommended that teachers keep their doors and windows open to increase airflow. This is not a requirement. Teachers are not required to do this because in addition to some of the air filter requirements that were mentioned, our site will be supplied air filters inside classrooms to keep the air moving, provide excellent ventilation. So should we arrive in June on a very hot day and it's unreasonable to have the doors and windows open, doors and windows closed so the air conditioning units can run, students and faculty will still continue to be safe because of the units who will be filtering the air and circulating the air at a high rate to ensure this safety. So what happens if there's a COVID case on campus? So there is a detailed process for notifying anyone who was potentially exposed to that case. So if, for example, if you're in a classroom with a student who ends up testing positive, there will be notifications to that classroom. It is potential that the students in that classroom could end up being quarantined for a time to ensure that they would be safe. So the quarantine could be a 10-day quarantine period. Again, these are all what the current guidelines are. We will continue to receive updates from the district and all of these guidelines could change. If a student is quarantined, then they would be moved to distance learning only. And so that would change the model of their instruction during the time of the quarantine. There will be COVID testing available at sites. And one way to make sure that we are aware of how our on-site students are doing will be to continue to test for COVID on a regular basis. It's something that while fully vaccinated, I do continue to receive testing on a weekly basis to ensure that I'm not in any kind of a communicable situation. And I recommend that any students that return to campus engage in the testing as well, just for the peace of mind and the knowledge that can bring in and can share. And that will be available on campuses and should be easy to do on a weekly basis. It's often it should be a self-administered test, so it's not something that involves any kind of invasive testing. Many people may have heard about early stages of COVID testing, and this will not be that. This will be something that is administered by the person and will be available within a short period of time.
So these are some, oh, go ahead, Principal McCann.
We have a few remaining questions. And so just, can students bring their own snacks? There won't be really time for eating during class. And so while, various teachers have had different policies about eating in the classroom, we're going to be firm on a no snack policy for the remainder of this school year, because we want students to have their face coverings on, except during specified face covering breaks and when they are drinking their water. So that will not be an option for students when they return to campus. How will bathroom breaks work? So bathrooms will all be posted with their capacity, their maximum capacity of the number of people who can be inside at any given time. And it'll be a lot of personal responsibility among students to maintain the physical distancing and the social distancing that'll take place in bathroom facilities. And it may require students to wait outside of the bathroom when they need to go in and use the facilities. So we will have campus monitors, and both Dr. Verscher and I will be patrolling throughout the day during class time and during passing period. However, we are expecting our students to maintain the physical distancing and to be very proactive in keeping the 6 feet distance and following the protocols that will be clearly labeled throughout the school. All right, so will my students have the same classes and teachers? Yes. Before and after school care and clubs. At this time, there have not been any after school or before school clubs that have been approved. This is a conversation that is happening and taking place. So this could change in the future. But right now, we are looking at a school day where the earliest drop off would be at 8:45 a.m. And that's for students who are going into first period classes, students that are going into 0 period classes, which begin earlier in the morning, would have a drop off 15 minutes before the start of that class. And then their pickup for all students would be by 12:35, which is 15 minutes following the conclusion of the last period of the day. There was a question about COVID carpool, and while I would strongly recommend that families develop cohesive pod carpool relationships with other families if transportation is going to be an issue, that's not something that as a school site or as a district we have a formal process to assist in developing. So unfortunately, we don't have any assistance there.
One question Principal McMeekin that did come up that's not on here is, what if my student has practice that day at 3 o'clock? Can they stay from 12:35 until practice?
No, we will expect all students to leave the campus at 12:35, even if they are returning the same day for a sport practice later in the afternoon.
Thank you.
So I'd like to invite everyone to join the live parent meeting that will take place on Wednesday, April 14th at 4 o'clock. If you have questions that have not been answered through this or any other means that you have received information, please join. We will provide a very brief presentation version of this that we have presented here, followed by a question and answer period to ensure that parents are comfortable sending their students to campus on Thursday, April 22nd.